Hi folks, I just want to take a few minutes to welcome you to History of Photography. It's an Art Humanities ARH115 class. My name is Richard Gross, and I've been with the college for approximately 20 years. I've been with Maricopa community colleges for closer to 40 years, usually as an adjunct evening teacher, sometimes teaching studio classes, studio photo classes, design classes, a variety of art subjects. About 1980, I got interested in the history of photography and took some classes at ASU with a wonderful photo historian by the name of Bill Jay. If you look him up in Google, you'll find out that he's authored several books, interesting books about the old days in photography. After that, I got a grant to spend a summer reading original 19th century and 20th century original source material and designed a curriculum for teaching photo history along with teaching actual hands-on photography. So been teaching the class from 1980 until recently, almost every year. I have a structure that is on canvas. It's designed, at the moment, it's designed to be for a hybrid situation, but as you all know, we have moved to completely online. So I'll just go into a little bit more of that later about how to pay attention to which assignments are relevant, which ones are going to be modified. My personal experience with photography, besides teaching it, has been to work in a portrait studio, and I had a private event and wedding photography business for about 20 years as well. So I like other forms of art. I enjoy doing some creative woodworking and designing, working in Photoshop, graphic design, writing children's books, self-published sorts of little kids' books. So I have a lot of art interests, and I've really enjoyed meeting my students who are also interested in art, and I learn from them and they learn from me, and it's always fun to start a new class. So I'm looking forward to getting to know some of you folks via the computer, since we can't meet face to face. The course surveys roughly 200 years. The last 200 years, photography as we know it came around between 1830 and 1850. And kind of lucky for you, you don't have to deal with what my art history kids, they have to deal with hundreds and hundreds of years. You just have to know about 200 years. We're going to start with the birth of photography, what led up to the techniques that were isolated and fostered and finally became viable for making permanent images. And we'll be looking at the uses of photography in the early day, as well as we're going to be reading and trying to understand the different schools of photography. There were some people who said you have to stay behind the camera and you can't do anything to adjust the subject. There were other people who were saying, I need to set up this picture, and in order for it to be beautiful, I'm going to manipulate this and that and work in the darkroom. So if you are a photographer yourself, this will help you clarify how you do photography, and it might give you some ideas on other ways to do photography, or it might just validate the kind of photography that you're doing. If you're a general studies student, what you're going to do is kind of study 19th and 20th century history through the medium of photography. So we'll try and do a special project, and that project should reflect something that you're interested in. So if you're not an art student and you're a business major, you might want to do a special project on how photography dovetails together with business, or if you're in the medical profession, how it works in medicine. So the project will be something that will help you out in reaching your goals. So we're going to be using Canvas, and I hope that I can talk you guys into emailing me through the Maricopa accounts. I know many of you are on Gmail or one of the other mails. The school would prefer that you use the Maricopa account that you were given. It works nicely with Canvas, and it also makes the IT department less anxious about virus and things like that. So when you communicate with me, please use your Maricopa email to do that. As I mentioned, if you start browsing around in the Canvas modules that I've loaded up already, you're going to see some things about face-to-face. And then you're going to see things about online activities. So as we go along, I'm going to be changing the face-to-face to YouTube recorded lectures. And my students this summer, when I was doing this, they really appreciated having the opportunity to view my lectures at their own convenience and schedule it into their work schedule, so that we don't have to be synchronous, and we don't all have to be meeting together on a certain date at a certain time. So here's the key. The key to learning my expectations, what to do and when to do it, is in Canvas. There is a calendar, and the calendar is going to have every assignment, and it's going to have a due date, and it'll show up in your Canvas calendar. Now, we're going to be working roughly from Wednesdays to Wednesdays. I'm teaching 3 classes this semester, so I'm kind of focusing on certain days for certain classes. And so on Wednesdays you'll be seeing a new assignment, you'll see something new in YouTube as far as a lecture is concerned, and then you'll have roughly a week. I'd like to get these things turned in on Tuesday nights so that I can grade things on Wednesday and put up a new learning situation for you. So when you go to Canvas for the first time, you need to pay attention to announcements. Yes, 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 do that every day. They'll show up in your Maricopa email. They'll also be on Canvas, so you should check Canvas every day for announcements. And then go down to the calendar, and click and see what the next due date is. Now once you find that assignment, click on it and read the assignment carefully. We have students, if something is due on September 15th, they start working on it the evening of September 14th. This is not that kind of class. You can't do that. If something is due on the 15th and you read about it and it says that you need to view the video and you need to do some research in your textbook and you need to write a summary, then you get out your own personal study calendar and you look at it and say, okay, this is Wednesday. Can't do anything tomorrow, but on Friday I need to do the video. On Sunday I need to read the text, and on Tuesday I need to write everything up and I need to submit it on time. So start with a calendar, find your assignments, and then work with your own study schedule on that. So my contact information is on the syllabus. The syllabus is posted in Canvas, and this summer, for the sake of being more accessible, I got a Google Voice phone number, but you can text me on it, and I'd like you to observe office hours, meaning 9 to 5 would be appropriate for texts. If you get jammed up in the evening, I would say don't text me later than 8 o'clock. I appreciate that. Do not text me at 2 o'clock in the morning. My Google number is 623-252-5117, and I believe that that is also in the syllabus. So I look forward to